Hello everyone, Don Pillow here. Maybe you have seen me on stage dancing and singing, releasing videos and occasionally a single. Maybe you might think, hey, that's a happy man right here dancing on stage. But for years, I've been having pains and anguish and sorrows inside because of a woman I chose to have a child with. That beside the love that I have for my son, that's unequivocally was the biggest mistake of my entire life. I've been keeping certain things from even the closest people in my life because I never wanted anybody to be involved in my personal life. However, if today I choose to speak is because I feel like a balloon that is overinflated and about to be busted. I have a 12-year-old son who's about to be 13 in November. That is coming. I love my son. He's a very smart boy, very nice boy too. Everything changed when my son was about 4 to 5 years old. I had some money I was trying to get, and when that money came, she advised me to take that money and go to her country to buy a house, a country I'm not from. And I did not want to go there. I took that money instead and I went to Ghana and invested it. After that investment, everything changed in that relationship. That's then I found out that she has been talking to a guy. When I found out that, that she was talking to that dude, even meeting that dude, doing certain things and kissing, that's then from the bedroom, I started to sleep on the couch. Knowing that she had been going behind me and sleeping behind me, I avoided all all intimacy with her for years. The most I ever did is when she tried to give me a kiss. We were going somewhere and separating, and that was it, because she was, going down on some people, you know what I mean, and trying to come, I wouldn't having it. So I was sleeping on the couch for years. No need to explain that I was going through pains and sorrows. I was losing weight. I looked like a skeleton. I stayed around because my son was too young, for me to move and leaving just like that. Yeah, I wanted to be around for some time, but it was hard for me, living in the house, knowing what she was doing and being in the house. So therefore, from time to time, I used to be very upset for anything. I used to be on the streets talking to people, and I had this behavior, and I was very aggressive. Why? Because of those things that were going in my house, and she did not realize that I found out. To be sure that I wasn't going out of my mind and I wasn't going crazy, I was able to monitor all communications, all text messages, all everything that they were having. I was going to Ghana and she was meeting that guy, coming back and forth. When I came back in the house, I was sleeping on the couch, again, avoiding all intimacy with her because I found out she was sleeping with someone else behind my back. So even kissing her was uncomfortable. It was a time I felt that she saw it was obvious that I did not want to kiss her because I knew what she was doing when I wasn't around. Meanwhile, she was going on vacations right and left. I was going back and forth in Ghana, and she was taking my money, going on vacation, and meeting that guy, in secrecy. Um, but when it came to me, because I wanted to go places with my son too, that was, categorically no, I could not go with my son. So there was a problem when it comes to my son and I going places. And she totally opposed that me as a man, that I had influence on my son going on places the way that, she has been going places with my son. That was bizarre because I wasn't raised like that. I remember my father taking us, hunting. I was a child, going into the woods, going and staying and coming back, whatever the time that he came back, because that was his child. My dad used to take us, to the countryside and staying as long as that he wanted to, because we were his children. You understand? So it was very upsetting for me. And I think I was kind of naive at the same time, even if I knew what she was doing. So one day I wanted to take my son going to the U.S. with. She said no, and we started arguing, and then she told me to go and F myself. And that's then I looked at her, I said, thank you. Then we were going shopping. When I went back home, she was in the kitchen. I went into the kitchen to tell her, hey, I think you and we over. I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm wasting my time. But I made a big mistake, and that mistake is going to cost me in the end. I didn't know that she went behind me, and the custody stuff between me and her, the 50-50 custody, that she had changed it because of something she had done and accused me of some stupid stuff. I didn't know that herself, that she could go and change that thing behind me. So every time I went to Ghana, she wanted to go somewhere with my son. She was kind of masquerade that by giving me a paper to sign, like to allow her, to go places, when she didn't need that, because she had already changed that. She didn't need my permission to go anywhere with my son. She already had that 100%. I didn't know. Then after telling her I didn't want to be with her anymore, so there was a problem. Did I have to leave? So I told her, no, that's my house. I was paying for her. She had to leave. Okay. And then I think about like a week or a month, we're talking about, back and forth. Then again, I went back on my game to find out what was going on between her and that dude that she was seeing. Then in the end, she, to basically give her the freedom to go upstairs to the apartment we shared, she allowed me to go somewhere with my son for 2 days. I think 2 or 3 days. That was the first time ever she allowed me to go anywhere with my son. I was like pretended to be happy, but I knew what she was doing and what she was planning. So no need to tell you that to take her stuff from the apartment, she went there, she did what she had to do, her man helping, her friend helped. Meanwhile, I had a camera somewhere in the house connected to the Wi-Fi to know what was going on. So here, my son and I were on our way back. That day, there was a problem with the train system. One of the trains, they had a problem. So we had to wait, I think, over 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours before that we could finally get on a train. So we were supposed to be in Nürnberg at 8 o'clock. And according to the new timeline, we would be in Nürnberg around like 30 minutes after midnight. Knowing that, we were on the train. My son sent her a message saying, "Hey, Mama, I'm sleeping with Papa because we are tired." And I sent her a message to telling her, what happened, so she could come in the morning and get my son. To my surprise, as we were tired, we were finished. As we were coming close to the house, and here was that woman standing, walking straight toward my son and I, and came straight at me because I was holding my son's hand and trying to snatch, just like that, trying to snatch my son's hand away from my hand. I was like, there was a thought when I felt that she was not playing. I let her go. Oh my God. And after that, I was very upset. I was very upset, very upset. I started talking and I said, "You're not living with my son. We are tired. What is wrong with you?" And I was very loud. Uh-oh. And then the neighbors came out. She was trying to go inside of an elevator to the neighbor with my sons. I said, "You're not going there, inside with my son. What is wrong with you?" And then the neighbors, they called the police. The police came. Oh my gosh. The rest was history. Then now it's my fault. Before the neighbors came down, she pulled a Karen. I never saw those people on those videos, falling off the ground or a floor and pretending somebody's hitting them. And she pulled something like that on me, saying, "Help, help," like I was, aggressive with my hand, like I was about to, I don't know, to beat her up or something like that. She pulled that on me. And it was later I realized that it was very crucial to her plan to pull something like that, because the way that I broke up with her, it wasn't like we were fighting. She told me to go F myself up. And I just, knowing what has been going on, I said, okay, that's enough. So I broke up with her. It wasn't like we were fighting or I was telling her stuff. She was telling me stuff. Do you understand? So she had to pull an upset so we can have a problem to start cutting me off my son. After that thing happened, I spent months. I could not see my son. I don't know if you understand. I was in that apartment. She moved to her new apartment, seeing her boyfriend with my son, and I could not see my son. One day, she did something that actually broke my heart. I left the house to go somewhere and saw her and my son by the train station. My son saw me and was about to run to me. She held my son and stopped my son from running toward his own father. My gosh, I remember when that happened to me, the effect that it had on me. Oh my gosh. I don't know if anyone can imagine such a horrible thing, that you have your child who didn't see you for months, and when he saw you running and the mother just held him down. Oh my God. Then months went by. I've been trying to see if I can see my son through Jugendamt, which is the social service, but nothing happened, to a point that we had to go to court. We went to court. The court sent us back to Jugendamt. So to start, Jugendamt, try to see if they can have a schedule, and then her and I, we finally agreed on a visitation. I had my apartment close to my son's school and close to where they lived, in order for me to be there for my son. Then I was very happy. I could see my son, every other week. It was really nice, waking up in the morning, cooking for my son, and then when it's time for him to come home, I went to the school, pick him up. I was very happy. That happiness was short-lived. And because she started pulling some stuff, making stuff up, because she had her plan to move away with my son. So some things have to happen, because if everything is going well, she cannot just move, you know? So in order for her to have her plans in motion, she started stirring some things, saying that I am changing my son, or he's doing this, he's doing that. When he went back home, or he never did this, now he's doing that. She is looking for stuff to a point that disrespectful, saying that my son's grade went down when he regularly saw me, or saying that I'm talking bad about women to my son. And it's always something so she could cut me, because things were going well after the separation. I have my apartment, you know, she had hers. I could see my son, but she that was a transition in order for her to just take my son away, because that's what she originally wanted to do, taking my son and going far away so I do not have access to my son. So now, while everything was going well, she had to pull something else. Then it was a Friday, I was supposed to have my son. I didn't hear anything. He was supposed to be there in the morning. I called, no, nothing. I called, she's not picking up the phone. I sent messages, no, nothing. Then after it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she sent me a message saying that, we are not around. I will let you know when you will see him, because she knew that was going to piss me off. And she went there to that place with my son that she wanted to go to. To make that long story a bit shorter, this triggered all types of arguments to the end. While it triggered the argument, because that's what she wanted, then she announced in the middle of the argument that she triggered by not allowing me to see my son for no reason, to tell me that they were moving away with my son. So then after that, I took her to court. When I took her to court, thinking like, hey, that's a system who would understand my love that I have for my son. I'm in this country because of my son. They would listen to me and not allowing her to, what is wrong with you? I live, close to my son's school, to where you live, I'm there. Why would they allow you to move away with my son? I think I was naive thinking like that. So after the court, like I said before, I did not know that she had that broad 100%, custody of my son, behind me. Then they sent me a paper saying that she can do whatever that she wants to. If she wants to go overseas with my son, none of my business. She can move. She can do whatever the hell she wanted to with my son. Now she won and I have lost. So now she has been running her mouth because you took my son away. I cannot have access to my son. When I used to live around, you did everything so I couldn't see him. Now you moved away, far, far, far away with him. Intentionally, I knew it. So therefore, you left, so I move away. So you left with my son, so I moved away. So ever since, she has been running her mouth, talking to several people, anybody who would, because she is lonely, doesn't have any friends, anybody who would lend her some ears, she would drop some words in there for you. Because she's been running her mouth, telling people a bunch of shit, sorry for my French. Where I am, people have been calling me, telling me, hey, this and that. Several people have been telling me to watch out because she's been doing this, she's doing that, she's been going after your money, she's been going to offices to try to get your money. Now, remember, when my money came in, what she advised me to do, to go to her country and invest that money to a country that is not mine. I wasn't born there. I don't speak the language. I do not have any business there. So now she is and has been after my money. But she cannot shut the hell up. She has been talking to everyone that we know, every friend that I know that she knows, even people that we don't really know. So I found some people who, that are close to me who know some strangers and calling me, hey, Don, hey, how come and this and that? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? So because of her, what she has been doing, I lost some dear friends that I had, because she's very malicious in what she's doing, and she cannot tell the truth. She is a vicious woman. She is somebody who nobody should trust. The reason why I'm putting this in public is because she has been putting it in public. And I do not know how long I'm going to be around. So that's the story. I miss my son. I cannot have my son. Now she has been after my money to turn me into a sponsor while she wants to live her life doing what she had in plan to do by cheating on me with that guy that she is with today.